When night falls in Medellin, the city doesn't just turn on its lights, it changes its rhythm. And you can feel it the moment you step onto the streets, because this is a place where evening energy spills outward and pulls people into motion, where conversation floats through warm air and music leaks from open doors. And as you walk, you notice how the sidewalks themselves seem alive, filled with confident strides, laughter, and a parade of stunning women moving with purpose and presence, dressed to be seen, comfortable in their skin, and fully aware of the attention they command, not in a loud way, but in a natural, effortless way that makes the night feel charged. Before we go any further, take a second right now to like this video, share it with someone who's thinking about traveling, and drop a comment below about what you want to know most about Medellin after dark, because your engagement helps this channel grow and keeps these deep, honest travel conversations coming. As you continue walking, you realize Medellin's nightlife isn't confined to a single strip or a single venue. It unfolds block by block, corner by corner, where one moment you're passing a relaxed cafe, buzzing with conversation, and the next you're alongside a lively cluster of bars where people spill out onto the street, and everywhere in between there are groups of women walking together. Solo women heading with confidence toward wherever the night is taking them, and couples drifting past, all contributing to a sense that this city is social by design. For a single man, that openness matters because the streets feel accessible rather than closed off, and the atmosphere encourages interaction without pressure, making it easy to observe, to engage, or simply to enjoy being part of the flow. What stands out quickly is how natural the beauty feels here, not staged or forced, but real and varied. And you start to notice that many of the women you pass carry themselves with a relaxed confidence that comes from a culture that values appearance, self-care, and social presence, where looking good is part of daily life rather than a special occasion. This is not about excess or spectacle. It's about pride and comfort. And for visitors, that translates into an environment where attraction feels organic, where eye contact happens easily, smiles are exchanged without suspicion, and the night feels inviting rather than intimidating. As the hours deepen, the streets grow more animated instead of quieter. And that's when Medellin truly shines, because people here don't rush through the night. They savor it, strolling instead of sprinting, pausing to talk, laughing loudly without self-consciousness. And you realize how different this feels from destinations where nightlife is rigidly structured around clubs and closing times. Here, the experience stretches, and that elasticity gives single men something valuable: time. Time to settle into the environment, time to read the room, time to enjoy the simple act of walking and watching the city breathe. The women you see aren't hidden away behind velvet ropes. They're part of the same streets you're walking, moving between venues, greeting friends, living their lives. And that shared space breaks down barriers, making the city feel approachable. It's easy to understand why so many men describe Medellin as magnetic, because attraction here isn't about chasing or being chased. It's about presence, about being comfortable enough to exist in the moment, and that comfort is contagious. Another thing you notice is how social the culture is, how conversation flows freely, and how people seem genuinely interested in one another, not guarded or rushed. And for visitors, that means interactions feel warmer and more human. Medellin has learned how to host the night, how to balance excitement with ease. And that balance is exactly what makes it appealing as a vacation destination for single men who want stimulation without chaos. As you keep walking, you see how different neighborhoods each add their own flavor to the night. Some streets pulsing with music and color, others calmer and more conversational. And that variety means you can shape your evening however you want, whether you're in the mood for high energy or something slower and more intimate. The presence of stunning women remains constant across these environments, but the tone shifts, offering options instead of a single note. The deeper you go into the night, the more you realize that Medellin's appeal isn't just visual, it's emotional, because the city invites you to feel included rather than like an outsider. And that's a powerful thing for anyone traveling alone. Being single here doesn't feel isolating. It feels freeing, because the environment supports exploration and connection without expectation. By now, You've probably started to understand why Medellin is often described as one of the best nightlife cities in the world for men traveling solo, because it combines beauty, accessibility, warmth, and rhythm into a single experience that feels both exciting and manageable. The streets themselves become the venue, and the people become the atmosphere, and that creates a kind of effortless immersion that's hard to replicate elsewhere. As the night stretches on, conversations deepen, laughter gets louder, and the city maintains its pulse, never quite slowing down. And you find yourself still walking, still watching, still feeling connected to a place that knows how to stay awake. And if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget to like the video, share it with a friend planning a trip, and leave a comment about what part of Medellin nightlife you want explored next, because your support keeps this channel moving forward. Eventually, as the sky hints at morning, you realize that Medellin has given you more than a night out. It's offered a feeling, a sense of belonging and motion, where being single doesn't mean being alone, and where the streets themselves provide companionship through sound, movement, and shared experience. That's the true magic of Medellin after dark, and that's why so many men return, not just for what they see, but for how the city makes them feel. And as the night keeps unfolding in Medellin, you begin to notice something subtle but powerful, something that separates this place from so many other nightlife destinations around the world, and it's the rhythm of interaction, the unspoken understanding that the streets are a shared social space, where presence matters more than performance. You're not navigating a scene built entirely around loud chaos or flashing distractions. You're walking through a living atmosphere where the energy builds naturally, where stunning women move in groups, in pairs, sometimes alone, all of them clearly comfortable in the glow of the city lights. All of them contributing to a sense that this is a place where being seen is part of the culture. The sidewalks remain active well past the hours when other cities would have slowed down, and you realize that in Medellin the night doesn't feel rushed. It feels stretched out, like it's giving you permission to take your time. Single men often talk about destinations where everything feels transactional or hurried. But here the vibe is different, because conversations happen in passing, smiles linger a second longer, and the overall atmosphere feels social rather than mechanical. That difference is important. It means you're not fighting the current, you're floating with it. As you continue walking, you notice how the lighting from storefronts and bars spills onto the pavement, casting a soft glow that makes the entire street feel cinematic, and the women walking through that light seem to carry themselves with a quiet confidence that turns a simple stroll into something magnetic. There's no need for exaggeration. The appeal speaks for itself. And as a visitor, especially a single man looking for a vibrant vacation, that steady stream of movement, beauty, and conversation makes the night feel alive without being overwhelming. You begin to understand that part of Medellin's magic is psychological. It's the way the city balances excitement with approachability. The women you see aren't hidden away inside exclusive venues. They're part of the public rhythm, walking between places, greeting friends, laughing openly. That visibility creates a sense of openness that many travelers find refreshing. You're not staring at a distant scene behind barriers. You're walking within it. And what really sets the tone is how the energy stays elevated without turning chaotic. You don't feel pushed. You don't feel pressured. You feel present. That presence is what makes this city such a strong draw for single men seeking something more than just flashing lights and loud music. It's about connection to the environment, to the movement of the street, to the shared experience of being out at night in a city that truly embraces it. Even as the hours push deeper toward morning, you notice that people are still arriving, still stepping into the glow of the nightlife, still moving with purpose. The city refuses to feel tired. Instead, it feels steady, confident in its own identity. And that confidence is contagious. It makes you walk a little taller. It makes you slow down and appreciate the details. It makes you realize that Medellin isn't trying to impress anyone. It simply is what it is: vibrant, social, visually striking, and unapologetically alive after dark. And for the single traveler, that's powerful. Because when a city feels comfortable in its own skin, it gives you permission to feel comfortable in yours. You don't have to overthink every step. You don't have to force the night to be memorable. The environment does the work for you. The stunning women walking confidently through the streets, the layered music drifting through the air, the constant movement. It all combines into an experience that feels effortless yet unforgettable. So as this extended night continues, as the sidewalks remain active and the glow of Medellin refuses to dim, you understand why so many men describe this city not just as a destination, but as a feeling. A place where the streets themselves become part of the adventure. A place where the energy doesn't spike and crash, but flows steadily, inviting you to be part of it for as long as you're willing to walk.